Hi all, this is Raj here. Welcome to the second episode here, and let's get started. If you recollect from my previous videos, we are going to identify 10 to 12 stocks, do fundamental and risk analysis, and also gain knowledge about how to interpret the market and make our trades. So continuing in that theme, let us start today by looking at the S&P, Nasdaq, and other indices. So I'm going to start with the Volatility Index, which is S&P 500 index, which is also called as VIX. So when I look at the VIX, like for example, if we go to the 1 year time frame, right, the volatility is still low compared to what we had experienced much earlier in 21. But still, you can see that the VIX is spiking up. So when the VIX spikes up, the effect of that is your share prices will start going down. Therefore, ideally, if you're going to sell, you sell when the VIX is at the bottom, and when you're going to buy, you buy as the VIX keep on going up until it meets the resistance. So the analysis that we will have to do from a day trading or swing trading perspective is purely technical analysis, because fundamental analysis is for long term. So if you look at it from purely a technical analysis point of view, and you look at this chart right now, so in a 1 year time frame, you can see that the RSI is more than halfway up out here. You can see that it's at 54, right? So it's not that much something to worry about, because it'll show that it is that the market is overbought only when it goes above the 70 level. And so we have still got some runway to go here. If you look at the MACD, we are in a bullish phase according to the MACD. And all that means is that the volatility is just going to increase. So if the volatility is going to increase, I have a line here which is a trend line I have kind of drawn. Different people may put this trend line in different places, like for example, they may move it a bit up or they may move it here. But I'm being very conservative. I'm thinking that this is our trend line. Therefore, I am expecting that once we reach this level at 19.37, we should have a pushback, because this will form a resistance. If that doesn't happen, then you will see the VIX going further up, which means the share prices will fall even much harder. So at any given point of time, the entire market is not moving in the same direction. There will be pockets of stocks which are down, and pockets of stocks which are really at the peak of their 52-week valuation. So the ones that are very close to their 52-week valuation, unless they have a compelling story behind them, they are most vulnerable to fall when the VIX keeps on crossing hurdles. So that's what I wanted to say with the VIX. Now if you look at the Nasdaq has been going up steadily, and this dip, these three red candles in the last 3 days, they correspond to what you are seeing here, which is the increase in the VIX. So if you are not sure when you look at Nasdaq whether the market is going to go up or down, you just come back to look at the VIX and you will get confirmation, right? And if you want to see if the trend is going to be persistent, in this case the RSI is saying that yes, there is room for VIX to go more volatile. If you look at the MACD, that also confirms that there can be more volatility out here. So it's a market indecision. Now let's go to our first share that we were thinking of, that I was thinking of bringing to your attention. So it's actually CRISPR, but I would rather go first to Tesla, because that's the happening stock right now. So a couple of days ago on Twitter, Elon Musk announced a contest. He said that I'm asking my my fan base, for the lack of a better term, I'm asking them to tell me if I should sell 10% of my stake. The backdrop is that many people accused all these billionaires of evading tax by holding on to their share options, which keep on increasing in value. So Elon wants to pay taxes, and the internet community resoundingly said yes, please do sell the 10%. So I think that is the catalyst for this drop, because if Elon was going to sell 10% of his holdings, definitely the stock in circulation is going to go high, which means that each stock has a lesser value. So that's what I would attribute to this sharp drop. And with this drop, if you look at the RSI here, the RSI has come down to 54. So once it goes below 54, it will be inching towards being oversold. And now if you look at the MACD, you see that the moment this blue line crosses the orange line, it means that we are going bearish. So already we are in a bearish phase as far as this stock is concerned. In the short term, not in the long term, but in the short term. When we talk about Tesla, we have to remember that from a fundamental point of view, this company is headed by a CEO who is visionary, and he has created things from scratch. Like there has been a lot of state-sponsored space agencies, there has been NASA, but Elon Musk has come out of nowhere, and he has got rockets which not only launch satellites, but are reusable. And not only are they reusable, but they can land on a given platform after delivering their payload, thus making launching satellites very cheap. The other innovation is, again, of course, Starlink, the way he has gone about creating an entire new asset by deploying so many satellites and bringing internet as well as mobile satellite phone for everybody across the globe. These are things that are, quantum leaps in technology and great value addition points. So with a CEO like that on the helm, I don't see any bearish sentiment in my mind for Tesla. However, what the market thinks is what we have to try to analyze, because however much we think a company is great, if the market doesn't think so, then they are not going to pay the money to buy it. So since we are investing in the market and we depend on others to pay the price, we have to look at other people's sentiment. So right now it seems temporarily at least there's a bearish sentiment, but I wouldn't hesitate to buy this share. In fact, on the Canadian side of my account, I went ahead and topped up my Tesla Canadian depository, CDRs, and I'm pretty confident that it's going to sneak up back again to the 1200 levels very soon. So having said that, let us look at the next stock that I wanted to bring to your attention, and that is CRISPR. So CRISPR, if you see here, was at a peak of around $219 somewhere in the beginning of the year. And now it has fallen down to 93.84, or rather 92.19, right? And if you look at the RSI, it's very weak. It's around 37. So, and if you look at the MACD, it is starting to show some signs of life because it's above the orange line. And one of the things that attracts me to CRISPR is that they own the gene editing technology, and I believe they get royalties from any company that uses their product. For example, there would be other therapeutic companies which are doing genetic medicine, and they might be using the CRISPR technology to edit genes, and whenever their product succeeds, CRISPR is going to get a share of that as royalty. So I do not understand why this share is taking so much of beating. If you look at earnings, right, they had negative surprises and negative earnings, but they started bouncing back in August. They came out positive and they exceeded the estimation. And if you look at the latest earnings report, they have exceeded the earnings expectations. Just the revenue expectation is below what was estimated. So I'm going to closely watch this share, because what I'm seeing here is probably that the market is reacting to analyst estimates. We should not assume that analysts are always going to be right in doing their estimation. Maybe they dropped the ball somewhere, because if I see this chart here, I have got a resistance that I have traced at 98.03 or $98, and I have got a support which I have traced at 90.62. And since 13th October, this share has kind of traded mostly within this range, which shows kind of consolidation. And the fact that the RSI has got plenty of room to move upwards, I'm very, very bullish on this stock. If you go on to a 6-month time frame, right, or maybe a 1-year time frame, you would see that the peak of this share was at 220, and more recently it peaked out at 162. So This is a heavy discount. I don't see anything that convinces me that there has been such a substantial material damage to this stock that warrants such a heavy discount to the pricing. So I would be having this in my radar to pick up probably somewhere around 90.62, which seems to be the all-time low. And that's my thoughts over this. Now coming back to give you a quick overview of all the shares that I'm just keeping in my radar to pick our 10 to 12. We have Amazon, Facebook, Google, Infosys, Wipro. These two are Indian ADRs. Microsoft, Apple, PayPal. PayPal again is a beautiful stock. It has been severely battered, and it has got plenty of opportunity to move up. And I'm going to be studying this closely, and I've already loaded myself on the CDR side with PayPal today. I bought a couple of hundreds of this share. For those who are interested, those who are in Canada, so you can buy all these shares from the Neo Stock Exchange. These are all Canadian denominated, Canadian depository receipts. So you got Google, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, Facebook, Disney, PayPal, and Visa. So all these were started somewhere around October, and these are absolutely brand new products that are now available. So Google started in August, Microsoft started somewhere around October first week, Tesla came into the CDR world on 11th of August 21. So you should check these out. These are all good opportunities for Canadians to participate in the American market. And these are hedged receipts, so you don't have to worry about foreign exchange losses. And I have got Caterpillar, which is another stock which I'm very seriously looking at, because with the infrastructure package being passed, I don't see why it has dropped so much. So I had bought it somewhere around 192, and I sold it yesterday around 212. So I'm watching the movement here, and hopefully I'm able to pick it up again before it goes up, because it will definitely cross 224, being an infrastructure play, and lots of money is going to come into the infrastructure thanks to the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. So that's all for today, and I hope you like the contents. I'm going to streamline the structure of this video and keep it to be much shorter and more crisp. I'm still working on the format. I would appreciate your feedback. Please let me know if you like the way these things are presented, and please like and subscribe. And if any of your friends are interested in learning how to trade shares, please get them to see this channel or this video and consider subscribing. Once again, these are all my ways of sharing my thoughts and how I look at the market and the kinds of trade I'm doing. Always exercise your own due diligence. I'm not a financial planner. This is not financial advice. This is just a ringside view of my investment strategy, how I'm investing in shares, and hope you get some ideas from this and you find some value. So thanks for giving your time. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments. I'll be reading the comments and I can respond to your queries, if any. And have a great day. Thanks. Bye.